Hello and welcome to Conversations with Candace. My name is Candace Paul, best-selling author of Spiritual Warfare. And Conversations with Candace, we talk to interesting people about interesting things. And the premise of the show is that you can always learn something from one conversation. So for the next couple of episodes, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. And I have an entrepreneur with us today. His name is Greg Baggett. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Candace, I'm doing awesome. How about you?
I am doing well. So tell us a little bit about your background. You were in accounting.
Yes, my background is in accounting. Originally, I'm from Washington, D.C. I moved to North Carolina back in 2005 to attend school. I stayed down here after graduating because I had a what I called at the time a secure job, which was in the government. But I learned through the years that security doesn't involve anything that you get from others. It involves what you give to yourself.
Yes. Absolutely. And so you decided to do your own business. And what prompted that? What was the catalyst?
What prompted me to become an entrepreneur in more of the physical and fitness realm was kind of an accident. I said it because in 2014, I left my job in the government. At that point in time, I just kind of wanted to take some time off to refocus myself and really decide what I want to do for the rest of my life. Up until that point, I had been putting in very long hours, which looked good on the paycheck, but I didn't feel good internally. So I took that time off. I took a year off to be exact. And, I really refocused. And during that refocus period, I always wanted to go back into the accounting field, which I did after a year. But 2 years after that, I find myself here right now reflecting on what I learned back in 2014 and deciding to pursue my own thing.
That is awesome. And so for that period that you took off for a year to kind of refocus and zone in on yourself, how important would you say that is to anyone who's thinking about taking the leap of faith and doing their own thing?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I would put it at a 100.
Wow.
Simply because when we're in a conventional workspace, a 9 to 5, I would say, our days are pretty much set. And we don't really realize it, but we wake up and immediately jump into a flight and fight response. We're rushing out the house. We're rushing to the office. We're rushing to meet deadlines. And as a result, our body is at a constant level of stress, and we look at it as normal over time, but in actuality, our bodies wasn't designed to live in that state.
That makes so much sense.
Our bodies were designed to be able to, escape stress temporarily and quickly. If an animal was chasing you, you got about 1 or 2 minutes of speed versus you can exert all your energy and get away. But if you have to run that same race for 8 hours straight, you're not going to make it.
Not at all. Wow. And that is very interesting. And so you said, and I think you mentioned this to me before, that you experienced a lot of weight gain when you were at the desk job.
Yeah. Before I started working, I was able to keep my weight at around 205 to 210, solid muscle. My activity level was about 2 or 3 hours a day of basketball or weight training or some form of activity. But once I started working, for 5 years that I began working, I noticed that each and every year, I began to exercise a little less, until 2013, I realized I was barely even going to the gym once a week.
Wow.
And my weight went from 210 up to 245.
Wow. And the thing is, and I know a lot of people who are in that position, myself included, you kind of just see the weight gradually go up and you don't
Hmm.
really you don't really know what to do, and it just seems like
Yes,
the other day you weren't that heavy. So,
yes,
wow. And so now you have decided to make fitness and health your business.
exactly. And my reason for going into that space is because during my time off, I really got a chance to really get down to the nitty gritty and understand how the foods I was eating was actually contributing to my poor health, as well as my sleep and my energy level. So I began to attack it from a health standpoint, and fitness became more of something that I incorporated, but I really got down to the nitty gritty about the health in the form of meditation and sleeping.
And so you find that, and I know that sometimes you kind of have to use yourself as a guinea pig, I guess. So you found out exactly what works for you and what would work for others, right?
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. So what would you say is like the diet plan that a person should use if they're trying to lose weight?
If anyone's trying to lose weight, I don't really recommend a specific diet, but I
Mm,
do go back to the basics. If you're taking in more calories than you're able to burn off, of course you're going to put on excess weight.
yeah.
Now, me personally, I found that a more plant-based diet helps me to lose weight, also keep it off, as well as it gives me that natural energy, and it helps me sleep and think a lot clearer.
Hmm. So what do you say for the people who say plant-based diet? What about protein? What do you say to those folks?
What I say to those folks is protein is something that that once you take it in, if the body does not use it immediately or during the day, it's automatically being stored as fat. So a
Hmm.
lot of us, we actually take in too much protein because we're sitting down all day. If you're sitting down all day, how much muscle protein do we really need?
That's very true. And so let me get into the entrepreneurship side of this. So how has it been transitioning into your business as a personal trainer and getting people on the health track? Like, have you experienced some highs and lows, I'm sure?
Yes, there is definitely some low points to it, only because when you're first starting off, no one really trusts your judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you mentioned earlier, you are really your first client.
Yep.
So a lot of your pictures, a lot of your focus is going to be a direct reflection on what you're doing in your own house. So for me, and based on my training approach, I found that most of my clients are individuals who have the everyday lifestyle. I
Mm-hmm.
work a 9 to 5. I'm a parent. I'm going to school. Individuals who just want to do what they're doing currently, but doing it at an optimal level and being able to maintain that level.
And that's good. And so, what would be your advice to someone who wants to get into a healthier lifestyle? They're ready. What would be the number one advice that you would tell them right now to get started?
Do not look at Instagram for motivation.
Do not
And
look at Instagram, really?
yes, the only reason I say that is because I saw a quote the other day, and one of the trainers I follow, he said, "Stop comparing yourself to $10,000 worth of surgery."
Oh, wow.
And we don't really realize that, but a lot of people that we look to when we see, oh man, she lost 50 pounds in 2 months. Well, if you think about it, a pound is about 3,500 calories.
Mm-hmm.
It's no way losing that much weight in a healthy manner that fast. So if
Gotcha.
anyone looking to start on that, if anyone looking to start on that fitness journey, on a healthy fitness journey, I would tell them just to start where you're at, look in your kitchen, look in your cabinet, and really assess if the food is real or is it fake, and get rid of as much of the fake food as you can, because the processed foods, the body is unable to recognize it as whether it's healthy or unhealthy. So as a result, it gets stored as fat.
That makes a lot of sense. So you really have to take initiative, look at what's going on in your life, clean out all the bad stuff, and don't compare yourself to others at this point. You have to start at your own point. That makes a lot of sense.
And, you don't even have to go out and buy a gym membership. You can start working out in your house using your own body weight. Nothing major, 15, 20 minutes a day, and just build your confidence up. Because no matter what, when you look in the mirror, the only competition is who you were yesterday.
That is very real. And I think it's so hard in this day and age where we're inundated with images of people just being successful, crushing it at life. And then you just naturally compare yourself, but you're saying you have to resist that urge. No, that's good.
Yeah. Even as as a personal trainer myself, looking at trainers who've been doing this for 5 and 10 years, of course they're going to have a larger clientele. I have to base my progress on where I am from a week to week, a day to day, and a month to month basis. That
is so true. Start where you are and then grow from there. Well, you know what? If someone wanted to get personal training from Greg, how could they reach you?
They could find me on Facebook and Instagram at Wyze, which is WYZE Training. So it's Wyze Training on Instagram and on Facebook. And wonderful. I do offer both online and in-person training sessions. And boot camps are starting in March in North Carolina and in Washington, D.C.
That is awesome. Okay. Well, everyone, we're going to make sure that we share his links in the description. So don't even worry about it. If you miss that, his links will be there and you will be able to get in touch with Greg at any time. So Greg, I really appreciate you touching base with us. And I think that we'll talk to you soon just to see how everything's been going with the business in a few months.
Yes, it's been an honor, Candace, and please keep in touch.
Thank you so much, Greg.